Over 500 years ago, there was a young maiden who went by the name of Rosalyne-Kruzchka Lohefalter. She lived in Mondstadt, where she loved to sing, and the only thing she loved even more was her partner, Rostam. At some point, Rosalyne had decided to study abroad at the Academia in Sumeru, the nation of deserts and rainforests. Before she left, Rostam had gifted her a special timepiece that would tell her how long she had until she would return home. She had always awaited the day she would see her lover again, but a tremendous disaster occurred, and when the day she longed for finally came, all she wanted to do was forget about it. A nation was destroyed. The Archons of Inazuma and Sumeru were dead, and monsters now roamed all across Teyvat. These monsters were destroying anything they came across, killing people too. In Mondstadt, the Knights of Favonius were dispatched to destroy these monsters. Now Rostam was actually a member of the Knights, along with his friend Aaron Dolan, the Grand Master of the time. They went on the expedition to defeat the monsters, but Rostam was killed in the battle. After that happened, Aaron Dolan never went to fight again, out of grief. He wasn't the only one who was greatly affected by Rostam's death, though. Rosalyne had returned to her hometown, destroyed, and her lover, dead. The day that she had long awaited turned out to be one of the worst days of her life. Where was Barbatos? Why wasn't he there to defend them? In her grief, she used her life's flame to destroy the monsters that had killed her lover and so many others across the land. Giving up her mortal body, she allowed the liquid fire to flow through her veins, earning her the name, the Crimson Witch of Flame. She traveled the nations of Teyvat, destroying any monsters or demons that she came across, and even though she never hurt any people, she still became feared by them. After a long time of purging the world of monsters, the liquid fire had almost taken its toll on Rosalyne. While her hat hid her burns from her, she knew that the liquid fire would soon burn away her heart, and then she would be no more. However, before this could happen, Piero, the first of the Fatui Harbingers, tracked her down. Understanding her situation, he recruited her into the Fatui, and she was granted the title of Harbinger, as well as a cryo-delusion to suppress the flames and a black mask to hide the burns once again. She would forget her name, and would become known as La Signora, the 8th of the Fatui Harbingers. As a Harbinger, she was greatly trusted by the Tsaritsa, the Cryo Archon. She was assigned to personally collect the Gnosis from the other Archons in Teyvat by any means necessary. At the moment, it is unknown why the Tsaritsa is collecting the Gnosis, but Signora was the one in charge of obtaining them. She started her journey by traveling back to Mondstadt to ambush Venti, the current vessel of the Animal Archon Barbatos, and steal his Gnosis. She still had her anger against him from all those years ago, and kicked him in the stomach as well, knocking him out. During this encounter, she would also come face to face with a traveler, who she deemed weak and not worth worrying about. She then left Mondstadt to carry out the next part of the plan. In Liyue, Signora decided it would be best to sign a contract with Zhongli, the current vessel of Morax, for his Gnosis. The Geo Archon does see quite highly of contracts after all, and he agreed to this deal. But what could be worth trading a Gnosis for? Currently, we just don't know. After an experiment involving the Traveler, Child, the 11th of the Fatui Harbingers, and the faking of his own death, Zhongli concluded he would no longer need to lead his people, and gave his Gnosis to Signora. At some point around this time, she had heard that the Traveler defeated Child in combat, meaning their skills had definitely improved since they had met last. Still, if the time came, she was confident she would be able to defeat them. Continuing in her plan, Signora made it to Inazuma. There she made a deal with the head of the Kanjo Commission to make sure that the Traveler wouldn't meddle in her plans. Despite her efforts, the Traveler made it to Inazuma, and eventually made their way to Tenshukaku, where Signora was having a meeting with the Ryan Shogun. She had just knocked out Kujo-Sara, which, combined with the Fatui giving delusions to the resistance as secret weapons, prompted the Traveler to challenge her to a duel before the throne. The Electro Archon gave permission for this duel to happen, and the fight began. During the battle, Signora fought using her cryo delusion, until her life's flame burst through once again. Unleashing her former power, she became the Crimson Witch of Embers. Interestingly, she was no longer a Witch of Flames, but a Witch of Embers. Perhaps the Crimson Witch that the Traveler fought in Tenshikaka was weaker than the one 500 years ago, as after fire burns for a long time, only the embers will remain. Either way, Signora was defeated by the Traveler, having underestimated their strength, and she reverted back to normal. Per the rules of the duel, the Ryan Shogun drew her sword and executed Signora using the Misono Hidutachi. And that is the end of Signora's story, at least for now. We may yet learn more about her in upcoming regions or in little bits of lore spread throughout weapon descriptions or books. A lot of questions still remain, but for now, all we can do is speculate. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe as well, it helps me out a lot. And if you have ideas for what other bits of lore I should cover next, please leave them in the comments below. I have a lot of ideas and series I want to share too, so please stay tuned, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.